So guys, welcome back to another video and welcome to another one in our top 10 ranking series. If you want to improve your ultimate team and need some coins to do so, you should check out my sponsor IG Vault. There's a link to do so in the description, and if you use the code Kieron, you'll get yourself a nice little discount off your order. Now normally in these we focus on one position in particular, but not in this one today. We are going to focus on players who people either A, like to play off chemistry in a completely unnatural position, or like to change their position in game but do it in a match, obviously to minimize the chemistry loss. For example, players like Footfreeze Awa won't feature in this video. Obviously he came out as a striker but gets used as a cam. You can do that position change yourself using position modifiers, but the players in this top 10 cannot be position changed to get full chemistry in their selected position. I hope I've explained that well. I think once we actually get into the top 10 you'll understand a bit more what I mean if you don't already. As per usual, I do want to invite you guys to get involved in this video by being active in the comments. Let me know which players you like to use off chemistry or in a completely different position, and also let me know what position we should cover next in this top 10 series. And of course the usual stuff, if you could leave a like rating on the video that'd be great, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, and that way you should be notified when I do indeed upload. Well, you will if you tick the notification bell as well. I feel like I say this every time, but once again a reminder, icons will not feature in this video in particular. They are going to get their own separate videos. So yeah, let's now get into my top 10, and in at number 10 is an item that I think will come as a surprise to some but not to everyone, and that is actually What If PEREYRA, who I think makes for an absolutely excellent wide centre mid option. He's just a very good card. Obviously he's got the pace of a winger, which is great, also the dribbling stats of a wide man too, but he's also got really nice passing, good physicals and decent shooting, and I think he fits that centre mid role really nicely. And when I reviewed him I said the exact same thing. It is a shame that this item isn't getting upgraded to 89, but still, as an 87 overall, it's a pretty good card, and it's only costing around 40k right now, which I think is a very good price for this item. Now seems probably a good time to mention the fact that we do consider value for money in these rankings, and that's one of the reasons why Team of the Year Trent is as low as he is. For me personally, and I've said this many times before, as a right back I do not think he's that great. I think there are so many better right back options, even in regards to his Team of the Year item, and I said this in the top 10 right backs video. I don't rate Team of the Year Trent that highly as a fullback. However, he does make for an excellent midfielder, whether that be a centre mid or a CDM. He's got the defensive stats for it, obviously. He's got the physicals, his dribbling is brilliant, and his passing is excellent. He definitely has the distribution stats that you're going to need for a midfielder, and obviously the pace comes naturally too. Shooting isn't anything too spectacular, and that's why I wouldn't use him as a cam, but as a centre mid or a DM, as I say, absolutely brilliant in them roles. We next come on to one of the more common position change items, and that is Future Stars Reece James getting moved to centre back. Now he obviously has two different Future Stars items. He's got a right back and a CDM, and to be fair, both of them regularly get moved to the centre back role, and he is really annoying to play against in those positions because he makes for an excellent CDM, but he also makes for a ridiculously good centre back just because of how the FIFA 21 gameplay is. It's very common this year to see CDMs and fullbacks get moved into that centre back role, and this is just another example of that. So yeah, great card, and to be honest, this Reece James item is one of my favourites in the game. Both this CDM and the right back card, they're very good, and they have a really good utility value, especially in defensive roles. Don't worry, the full top 10 is not all Premier League players, but we do have another one up next. It's Heung-min Son, who obviously comes out as a wide man, but everyone uses him centrally. Whether it be a cam or a striker, people just don't use him out wide. He doesn't quite have the elite pace for that position, but his dribbling is very nice, and the fact that he's got the 5-star weak foot makes him an excellent central player to distribute out wide onto the left and onto the right, and also his finishing is pretty mad. Son, I will say though, isn't as popular in this year's Ultimate Team as he has been in previous FIFAs, but still, he's got a very effective card in game, and as I say, that 5-star weak foot definitely does help with that, and because of that, he makes for a really good central item. Another Team of the Year player features on this list, and once again, it's another case of value for money coming into play. Otherwise, this item would definitely rank higher for me. Now, this card literally can be used in any position except goalkeeper, and it will do a brilliant job. I think I see this card most commonly used as a a CDM if it's not being played as left back. But yeah, it's a ridiculous item. Obviously, stupidly quick in game, ridiculously good dribbling. Defending and dribbling is good enough for the midfield, and yeah, passing is also really nice. It's just a brilliant card that you can either use in an attacking role or a defensive role, and it's going to do a brilliant job in all of them. Even if he's not playing on good chemistry, even if you start him on really low chemistry, he's still got better stats than most players in the game because yeah, this item is absolutely stacked. I think everyone knew this one was coming. You don't have to like it, but you've got to know it happens a lot. I don't actually have Foot Freezer TRAORÉ on my main account, but I regularly, very regularly come up against this item, and people don't use him as a left back. No. They use him as a centre back, and he is a nightmare to get past because he's absolutely rapid and has pretty good physicals. His defensive stats, although they're not terrible, they're not great for a centre back, but like I say, because he's so quick and so physical, he makes for a ridiculously good centre back that even if you break away from initially, he's going to get a second attempt and he will likely dispossess you of the ball. Yeah, it's actually horrible playing against this card, especially when people use him in a 5 at the back as well. It can be an absolute nightmare. So yeah, despite me hating coming up against this item, it's one that I see regularly, so just had to make the top 10. Another one which I think everyone knew was coming is Bender going to centre back. Obviously came out not too long ago, and instantly everyone had the same thought for whatever reason. There was a centre back Bender available, but it didn't look that good, so everyone just completed the right back Bender and played that one at centre back off chem instead. So yeah, another one that just had to make the list, and another one that is an absolute nightmare to play against because once again it's a rapid fullback that's getting played in a central role. This is pretty much the go-to choice for sweaty players this year, and I get it. I don't like it, but I get why people do it because it definitely helps. As I say, these mobile, fast players in centre-back roles really does help teams this year, and that's why a lot of this list is actually dominated by fullbacks going into central positions. For the third time in a row, we are going to be going from right back to centre-back, and it's probably the most famous one for this year's Ultimate Team. It's Showdown KLAIBER getting used as a centre-back or as a CDM, but mainly as a centre-back. He's amazing there. It is very frustrating how good he is there because it's one of them, if you got him in your team, you're going to be happy, but if you come up against this, you know it's going to be a tough game because once again, this guy has ridiculous pace, very nice defending, and stupidly good physicals, and because of that, he can be an absolute nightmare to get past, and he is. He's an absolute beast in game in that position. Even if you don't start him on full chem, he's still good enough, and even at this stage of the game, he's still getting used as a centre-back, and yeah, it's easy to understand why. He's very good in that role, and this seems to be like one of the best value SBCs that we've had all FIFA 21 because didn't cost too much when he came out, and as I say, people have certainly got some longevity out of him. In terms of playing a position out of their natural position in-game, I feel like this is the most popular one of FIFA 21. From day one, people have been getting Neymar, and although they do use him on the wing, most people do switch him to a central role. Now, he did actually get played a lot as a striker at the start of the game when people could only afford one of Neymar or Mbappe, but now that both of them players are very easily attainable, everyone, well, most of the people who go for like the meta sweat team will start Neymar as a left wing and switch him to cam in game, and most of the time it will be in behind and Mbappe, and it just works, it just does. Neymar is obviously one of them rare players in the game who do have 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot, and that just makes him an absolute menace because he's got insane dribbling, some of the best in the game, and when you're talking just non-informs, arguably the best in the game, and yeah, that combined with the 5-star skills is just so useful, and the fact that he's got the 5-star weak foot and good passing and shooting just makes him an excellent central player, and he really does do a good job in that cam role despite his physicals not being anything too special. But yeah, I feel like everyone who has had Neymar in FIFA 21 has definitely used him at cam at least a handful of times. I really do believe that, and if you haven't, I think you're lying. So yeah, let's move on now to the final player in this video. So here it is. For me, the best player in FIFA 21 to change position in game is going to be Footbirthday ATAL. Now, I know this guy's featured in a lot of my videos recently, but with good reason. He's excellent. He's stupidly good. He really is. If you haven't used his card yet, if you can afford it, I really do advise trying him out. He is brilliant on the wing. He really is. but he's also brilliant everywhere else. Like I've said many times before, you can use this card anywhere on the field aside from goalkeeper, and as long as you've got the right chemistry style on him, he's going to do a pretty good job. Even at centre back, he'll be great at full back. He's an excellent midfielder, I know this, and he's also a very good attacker. I literally didn't know what position to actually, put him at, because you can just use him anywhere. He just has ridiculous utility value that not many players have in this game. A lot of the players in this top 10 can only just play like 1 or 2 positions really well. This guy can play many of them very well. I think he is an elite winger, an elite cam, an elite striker, and also an elite centre mid. He is that damn good, and if this item was like in the Premier League or something, it would literally be double the price, probably more. It's so good, and I'll say it again, if you haven't used him yet, I do recommend trying him out when you can afford to do so. Hopefully during Team of the Season, this item does drop in price so more people can try him out, but yeah, it's a stupidly good item. So those are my top 10, but we do have a couple of notable mentions. Team of the Year Kimmich obviously does make for an excellent centre back, but I don't feel like that's a commonly used position change, because obviously he is just really good in midfield. Another one that you see a fair bit is Headliner's Tavernier going into CDM. That's a very good one that I like to use myself in Weekend League. Don't think it's as good as the players I've got in the top 10, but they're still very good. The same, to be fair, can be said for Showdown ACUNA and also Showdown Zinchenko. Both come out as a left back, but in game they make for excellent CDMs. And once again, I will point out, I feel like this list highlights a problem with FIFA 21, the fact that you don't get penalised too much for lack of chemistry this year, especially if you start these players out of position, and they'll just do a really good job in them roles. As I say, fullback to centre back is just a very popular manoeuvre this year, just to get as much pace as you can in those centre back slots. Anyway, we're going a bit off topic. As per usual, I do want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the players you've seen in this video, and also let me know which players you feel I have missed out. Who do you like playing out of position completely? Remember, we're talking about players who you can't get into a different position by using position modifiers. Like I've already said, the best example I can think of is not Future Stars, Foot Freeze Awa, who comes out of packs as a striker or came out as a striker in the SBC, but most people use him as a cam, and he's an excellent cam, but because you can achieve that position using position modifiers, he didn't feature in this video. Anyway, we're rambling, let's wrap this video up. I hope most of you have got the point of this video. I know I'm a terrible explainer, but hopefully you get where I'm coming from. If you could leave a like rating on the video, that'd be absolutely fantastic, and don't forget to be active in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you in the next one.